What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, we have another town hall in the books, and I'm just going to start off right from the get-go. I know I put out the bullish video yesterday, but I am doubling down on it. This was one of the best town halls I have heard in a very long time. There's a lot of stuff that is finally getting done. Matt sounds like he's, on the road to wherever we go from here. And, with us being just a couple of weeks away, right, maybe a month and a half or so away from Q4 and what could potentially be a very fun bull run, I am excited about what is happening in Splinterlands. I'm excited about what's happening in Bitcoin and crypto overall, right? But definitely with what is happening in Splinterlands and what the next, 12 months might look like in this space. So let's go ahead and jump in. This is my usual 5 biggest takeaways. So for anybody who's new to the channel or unfamiliar, new to the channel or new to the series, this is not a full summary. They've posted a written one on Peak D. This is just the 5 things that stuck out to me the most. But of course, I also have a couple of bonus items here, which we'll get to at the end. So let's go ahead and dive in. First things first, here is what is coming out in the next update, right? And we already know that there's a bunch of other stuff like the Rebellion reward cards, the unbinding of other previous Soulbound reward cards. There's all the voucher stuff that's going on. This is the stuff that we hadn't, at least I hadn't heard of yet, but they're minor, but still significant, right? So the first is that there's going to be a slight price increase in the glint cost for chests, right? For chests and for rarity draws. So I think they posted a graphic of what that's going to look like. They just said that when they did their calculations, they kind of underestimated a couple of different things. And now, now and then also in the future, there's going to be other ways in which people can increase the amount of glint or the glint modifier, like the glint boost that they get. And we're going to talk about one of those ways later. So they're adjusting it. They're adjusting for inflation, right? And trying to create it so that we don't get an overprinting of cards and overprinting of all that fun stuff. In terms of glint boosts, there will be a glint boost to bronze and silver. Again, just a glint boost and not an SPS boost. And the main reason for this is because if new players are coming in, they don't want it to be like you have to win 20 battles and then you can finally get one of those measly little chests, right? So they want to make it enticing for newer players to come in, get them, addicted to the reward structure and how that all works, start building up their deck, start building up their collection. And to me, that makes sense, right? Like if people are down in bronze and silver, I don't think they're going to spend a lot of time down there if they're actually serious players. They're going to start leveling up their cards, and then they won't be playing in bronze and silver, and therefore those glint boosts won't really matter in the long run for serious players. It's just going to be the beginning. And any players that decide, they come in, they get a glint boost, and maybe they buy a bunch of stuff, but then they lose interest and leave, well, that glint just gets stuck there, right? Or those cards that they have just get stuck there forever. But those are the 2 things in regards to the rewards. But here's the big one. The new player quest system is out, and it's simple, it's sleek, right? It's very, very focused. When somebody comes in and signs up, and maybe I'll even do this just to have it as like a tutorial. There's like a 3-step process, right? 3-step quest. You come in and you go through the tutorial. They walk you through a modern battle, and then you get the option to purchase a spell book. So I don't know if this is all. I wasn't able to catch all of it live. In fact, I was kind of watching it on a little bit of a delay. I was hoping to get to the Q&A part, but it's fine. Nobody asked the question, and I'll just throw it in the town hall chat. But I don't know if this is the final version of the new player, experience that they were talking about. My guess is that this is going to be an iterative process, right? So they're going to continue adding to it here and there and adjusting it here and there based on whatever they're seeing. But if this is the biggest part of it, right? Just getting it out there, getting it ready. I'm excited about what comes next because we can finally start looking at what is to come. And I know that I've probably been one of the most critical about this because I'm just like, I have no idea where, the new player experiences, where this tutorial is at. I have no idea how long that's going to take them. In fact, I was even complaining about it probably on a live stream recently. And I was complaining about the, marketing and being like, well, they can't do anything about marketing and blah, blah, blah. Well, now that I probably stand corrected. I probably got a little egg on my face because of that. And it's great because the team they just put it out there. There wasn't like this long, like whatever, oh, it's coming soon and it's, we're still working on it, blah, blah, blah. They just put it out there, right? And so whatever the case is, I'm glad that it's done. I don't know how much of an impact it's going to have. I mean, it's not going to impact any of us who've been here for a while, but I don't know how much of an impact it's going to have, but it's going to be slowly and steadily, the thing that what I'm trying to get is the experience overall slowly and steadily has gotten tremendously better, in my opinion, right? There's an academy section, there's tool tips, there's all these different things that just weren't there when I started about 3 years ago. So I think that this is going to be fantastic, and I hope that we can start to move on from this. And then lastly, there's going to be a Rift Watcher set rental too. Now, I don't know if this is going to be, I'm guessing it's just going to be a starter set as well, right? Similar to Chaos Legion, where it's just for bronze. But I believe they said something like it's not even going to be available for them to see, for the new players to see if they haven't bought a spell book yet, right? Or if they haven't, done X, Y, Z. So this is just going to be an added thing. And my guess is that over time, they're going to add, now that they have it set up, right? They're going to add more of these different kind of molds or whatever you want to call it, right? Different sets that will be available. I would like to see higher level ones. I would like to see silver maxed. I would like to see gold maxed. I would like to see, obviously, a fully maxed, right, diamond max set. I don't know when we're going to get that, but I think the sooner we get that, and probably just going straight to diamond would probably be the best one in my opinion. I don't know how much of that is being utilized right now, but I do think if it's there and it's available, especially for Chaos Legion, people will make use of it, especially at the higher levels. All right, so that's all of the updates, or at least the ones that stuck out to me. I'm sure there's a couple of other things, and of course, what's already been mentioned. Okay, number 2. This is actually a big one, and once again, a big departure from what we've been told, which I won't lie, is a bit frustrating because I just literally made a video about like, all right, they're not going to do, they said they're not going to do a mini set. So here's how I think we should, expect X, Y, and Z, and how we should do, the future releases of their things. And now it's just like, yeah, we changed our mind. We're going to do a mini set. Right now, the broader thing here, which I didn't put as a note, but I want to relay to you guys, is that Matt talked about the fact that the team has not sold anything, right? Outside of the Bitcoin promo card. They have not sold anything in almost a year. And he's correct, right? I mean, so, the whole idea of people being like, oh, they're just leeching money off the players. No, they haven't, right? It was Rebellion that came out. I think it was the pre-sale last year in October. And that was something that we knew was coming. And, we were already primed for that. But outside of that, they haven't sold anything, right? And part of this is the fact that this is why the company is struggling from a revenue standpoint. But they're now ready and in a place where they're ready to start selling again. And what's exciting to me is I look around and I see a lot of the hardcore players getting excited about this, right? Because there's promo cards coming. That was part of the kind of like the arrangement that they had with the DAO, the proposal. There's these Rebellion mini sets, and then there's even another auction promo thing, which I'll talk about at the end as the 5th item. So now that we're going to have this, and there's going to be people that are excited about, a Rebellion mini set. I don't know when this mini set launches, but at this point in time, if it's got to come out at some point this year is my guess. I don't know when or how or what kind of work has been done, if any. But the fact that we're going to get this now makes me a little bit more confident that we're going to hit maybe the 18-month cycle, meaning that we probably won't see whatever comes after Rebellion until summer of next year, rather than pushing it up into Q2 or March or April is what I was thinking originally. If we're going to get this mini set, it's going to come out. And the important thing is, and Matt talked about this across a bunch of different things, they're very hyper-focused on making sure scarcity is driven, right? It's going to be a thing across everything. And I would personally love that. So this idea of, okay, Rebellion, maybe it makes sense. You want to have cards on the shelf for a year, right? And that's fine. But with this mini set, I don't want it to be where it's just like, all right, we're going to put it out and it's going to have a preset, like determined burn. I mean, it can still have that just so that we have something maybe in place. But I genuinely think if they just come out and they're like, you know what? We're going to sell you 500,000 packs, right? Or a million packs or whatever the number is that is significantly small, right? I think people look at that and they're going to eat it up quickly, especially if there's opportunities to design cards, if there's opportunities to get involved, if there's promo cards and things like that that'll be involved. I think stuff like that and the attitude of just keeping things scarce, right? They looked at Chaos Legion and they're like, yeah, we really messed up. And that's important, right? They need to learn from their mistakes. So I'm actually excited about the mini set. Again, am I going to be spending a ton of money? People always make fun of me about this. Sure, that's fine. No, at this point, probably not, right? It all depends on where things are at. I am looking at Rebellion a little bit more though, just because I'm seeing how much people are earning there. And I don't know when the what's that called? When the rotation will happen, right? I'm guessing it's going to be summer of next year, but I'm looking at Rebellion and thinking to myself, man, there's not that many cards out there, right? It's a very scarce set. And with Rebellion reward cards coming into the mix, right? Being able to have that, get a head start on that, I don't know. To me, there's a lot of interesting opportunity with Rebellion itself. But the mini set coming in means that we could have another attempt at the flywheel, and this could be important because we could burn a lot of SPS, especially while the price is low. So whether it's the promo cards, whether it's the Rebellion mini set, whether it's new players coming in, marketing, whether it's Bitcoin just going up in general, I think that there's a lot to be excited about between now and the end of the year, and then of course into 2025. Okay, number 3, this is another big one, but out of respect for the proposal that passed, even though Matt was not necessarily, he's been in favor of wanting to have the cards soulbound, for the entire time, they will actually allow the new Rebellion reward cards to be unbound early. Okay. Now they have no time frame for this. They don't know the cost. They have not released any details, but they did want to let us know that they're listening to the community. There was a proposal put forth on this and they are going to do it, which to me represents an early opportunity for there to actually be a lot of unlocking, for these cards, right? Again, I'm like for it and I'm just a little weary. I'm kind of on the fence about it, but I'm obviously for it, especially if it's going to burn a ton of DEC. I just get weary of the fact that like people are going to be paying way too much early on for a card, right? But either way, if we get to see this early, and in my honest opinion, I think they should be soulbound for a while. If they're going to be in print for a year or, a year or 18 months, I would say it would probably be best for them to be soulbound for at least like 4 to 6 months. So I don't know when they're planning, but at this point in time, if the reward cards are coming out tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see anything until like December or maybe even early next year. And that's fine with me. I wouldn't want to see it any earlier than that. But again, that's just my personal opinion. I just like the fact that they're listening to the community. They're going to offer this for hopefully a ridiculous fee that some people out there are just willing to pay. And we get to burn a ton more DEC because of that. So I'm very excited about all the DEC burning opportunities that will be coming up. Okay, number 4, there is a skin system, and they're calling it Glamour, based on something I'm not familiar with, so forgive me. But they're coming out with a skin system, and they are trying to get it out by the end of the year. And it's funny because Matt's like, oh, we don't give dates anymore, but he kind of said that. He's like, we'd like to get it out, hopefully this year, which I guess isn't really that big of a time or specific of a time frame. But what's interesting about it is that, they're going to offer a bunch of different areas and ways in which you can, get involved. There might be some voucher burning for it potentially. There might be some DEC burning for it potentially. I don't know how all that stuff is going to work, but I think it's going to add a lot of shine to the game. It's going to make people feel a little bit even stronger in their ownership because then they get to kind of dress up things the way that they want. He gave an example of like, it can change the name of the card. So when people see it, I think the name he gave was like Overlord Mantaroth or something, right? So instead of your Mantaroth just showing up, when it goes on the screen, it says like Overlord Mantaroth, which may not mean much to any of you. I certainly does not mean anything to me, but there are a lot of people out there who care about that. And I think that's cool that they're going to be able to have that option. Now, on top of this, this is going to come in probably at a later time to whenever this actually launches, but they do want to be able to give benefits for these skins or glamour, right? He already talked about, potentially giving a glint boost on earning if you're playing with a card that has that, or a boost to earning on land, right? Maybe it gives you some extra production points. So I love the idea. I think it's great. This is stuff that's being worked on in the background for a while. That Nate and Creative and the Creative team have been ironing a bunch of things out. So being able to see this come in, I think will be great. And it's crazy to me because I'm like, man, I feel like the team has just been going, balls to the wall this entire year. And then you look at what they're trying to do between now and the end of the year, and it's like, there's still a lot, man. I mean, they want to get, they're adding a mini set on top of the fact that they want to get this skin system in. They want to, they're still working on land, obviously, and we'll talk about that in the bonus section. But, it's exciting nonetheless. Okay, number 5, last one that we have. Matt also had an idea, and I forgot where he got it from, but essentially doing an auction promo card. So between now and, the next couple of months here, or end of the year or early next year, I think we can expect 11 promo cards. So the ones that are from the proposal, that we paid the team 600 million DEC for, those are going to be, there's going to be 2 every single time. And there's going to be 2 every single time, and at least the first one he said is going to follow a similar kind of structure to the Bitcoin halving event, where there'll be some prizes being given away and all that. But he wants to add an 11th card, right, to the mix at some point, which is an auction promo card. Now this will be a fully maxed out card, and there will only be 100 of them. So he wants to run it over 100 days. The basic idea being, every day there is an auction, and however much you are willing to pay for it, right, to be the first or second or third, whatever it is, you can get the card, right? And you'll burn DEC, or DEC will go to the team, or however that's going to work. But I think it's an interesting idea. I think it'll be fun because it'll keep people engaged for a while. And at the end of the day, there's only going to be 100 maxed copies, which when you look at the game, when you look at the data, there's definitely more than 100 like serious players. Again, not much more. And I'm not even saying that all of these serious players would go for it, but if it's an awesome card and it's only one of 100, right? I think you're probably going to get some people that want to get in on that. So I'm looking forward to getting more details. I think that's actually still quite far away. Matt said he just told the team, I want this as soon as you can possibly do it, right? So again, I hope the team is able to take some time to themselves and just look back on how successful in many ways the delivery and production and all that for the team has been in 2024. Yes, the token prices and asset prices have not responded, but I'm genuinely much more bullish on where things are going to go from here. Okay, let's go ahead and talk bonus items. I'm just going to quickly reference these. Tech modernization. We are going to be getting the guild update for tech modernization on September 3rd, on that update, which I believe is the next one after the 15th. And that is that is the second to last one. The last one is going to be battles, which is still a big one, but we've been hearing about tech modernization for like 2+ years now. And to think that we're almost at the end is actually quite good, because then, right, and Matt talked about this earlier, where it's just like the mobile experience is going to be tied in. Then it's maybe people still don't want to play on mobile, but at least they'll be able to focus on other things. Tech modernization will be done. And I think that the mobile experience is significantly better. Obviously we don't have a mobile app, and we're probably not going to get one for a while, but as long as the entire experience on mobile looks good, because tech modernization is able to streamline their release process, but also just look better, right? In general on PC or on browser and in mobile. I think that that's actually a huge win, and hopefully we can get that before the end of the year. Land. Crypto. He mentioned Cryptomancer's actually been traveling a lot this summer, which is why Land has kind of been on the back burner, but he is going to get a better idea of where things are in September. And again, they still want to introduce all of the other natural resources, so grain, ore, and wood. And then they want to find ways in which they can get research more involved. Now, I had a knee-jerk reaction, fearful response as soon as he said, yeah, maybe we'll require, some kind of like research in order to get certain like promo cards or whatever. And in my mind, I was just like, I hope research doesn't become a token, right? Please, please, please don't make it a tradable token. And again, like, I don't know anything in that process should not become tradable, in my opinion. Like, just keep it there, and if people have what they need, they can go and they can buy the card and they can trade the card, right? The card will always be tradable, but I get worried about research, and hopefully, we get more information on that soon. All right, third thing here, question about, there was an interesting question about, people being able to opt in to reduce the amount of SPS that they earn from a win in order to get a glint boost, which is perfect, because it's like, yes, people who are there for the game, right, and want the most from the game, this is exactly the type of behavior that we want to see. This is exactly the type of sentiment that we want to see, where it's not just about earnings, it's about playing in the game. Now, this wouldn't do anything, you know, I think Matt misunderstood the question when he heard it, but this wouldn't do anything to where people could just like spend SPS to get glint. This would literally be like, let's say you play a battle, right? For example, for me, I get 3 SPS per win based on, where my ranking and all that is. I would get 3 SPS and 1,000 glint. Well, what if you could, and I'm not saying that these numbers are right, but what if you could reduce your SPS earnings by 10%, right? And then increase your glint boost by 10%. And, you know, the question when it was asked was, what if you delegated that to the DAO, right? By delegating it to the DAO, meaning that you essentially are donating, 10% of your SPS to the DAO, you would get this glint bonus. And Matt was like, "No, let's just burn the SPS, right?" And I'm like, "Yes, let's just burn the SPS. That sounds fantastic. That would reduce inflation. We wouldn't have to worry about it in the future with it being in the DAO." So Matt liked the idea. I don't know how long it'll take for something like that to implement. And again, he liked the idea on the spot. Maybe when he thinks about it, he'll change his mind. But I thought it was a good idea too, and hopefully we can see something like that in the near future. And then lastly, the new conflict is out. I believe Elias Pruitt or something like that. I did a video on this already, so it should be out. I'm not going to give you the stats here, but just exciting stuff, guys. I got to say, I'm feeling quite bullish on, just Bitcoin overall in general, I would say. But now that we're turning the corner here into the end of Q3, with Splinterlands having delivered on a bunch of stuff that they were trying to do, and now looking ahead to more things that people can and will get excited about and will spend money on. I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't going to spend money, and myself included, right? I'm being very selective. Somebody commented yesterday and was just like, "Oh, you're not even spending XYZ, so how can you say whatever?" And I'm just like, well, the reason I'm not spending XYZ is because every dollar that I spend right now is going to Bitcoin. But I'm looking with my entertainment budget, right? And again, this is not financial advice. I'm trying to keep it just purely game advice, although I think that there is a lot of upside here. But, for me, from an entertainment standpoint, I definitely want to get some of these cards, and I probably will at some point. But right now, it's just like I'm looking at the macro and I'm thinking to myself, I need as much Bitcoin as I possibly can. And so, again, sorry, that was a little bit of an aside. That is all I have for you guys in this video. Feeling very bullish, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts, especially the bears out there. What was it that you heard or saw in here that gives you pause, that makes you worried? Because I don't want to be blind to this kind of stuff. I do take all of the kind of bearish and negative feedback very seriously, right? Because I want to know, I want to know what people are looking at and seeing that I might be missing. So let me know your thoughts, good or bad, from this town hall and these takeaways. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.